children. Hope you are all fine. Today we will start first lesson resources in Geography 8th Standard NCERT book. What do we need for our survival? We need air, water, food, shelter, clothes, etc. Isn't it? Yes, without air, how can we breathe? Without water, how can we live? Isn't it? So, we need very important elements, isn't it? So, things that we can utilize are called resources. So, every day, if you see, we are using so many things, isn't it? See, now you are using your book, you are using your pen, you are watching your phone, everything around you are called resources. Now, we are going to the resources chapter only. I am going to explain it clearly. What is a resource? Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. Yes, of course, the resources are satisfying our needs. What we need, that we will be fulfilled by these resources. Yes, nature has given us enormous resources. These resources are used by human being. So, when the resources are satisfying the human needs, that is known as utility. So, utility means satisfying the human needs is known as utility. Okay, what is utility? See, everything we are taking that transport to, for example, car. We are using the car from here to there. If we want to go, we use the car. So, that car is we are using the car. That is utility. Yes. So, utilization of the object or any other substance known as utility. Substance means what? Already I have told you, no? Things or objects. So, utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. Yes, of course, if you are using the things only, it will be a resource. If the things are not using, it won't be resource. So utility or usability is very important. And now things become resources only when they have a value. Yes, of course. If the things have values, it has everything around us, everyone has different values. Okay, for example, if you take vegetables, see, if your mama makes a nice vegetable curry, in that vegetable has used to make a curry. So vegetable is a resource. So that we are using for that cooking. So here vegetables are resources which are satisfy our need. Yeah, it satisfy our needs. So if you take building, we need land, labor. Yes, if you want to construct any building, we need first land, then all other construction materials, then labor, water, etc. These are the resources. So, when the resources are satisfying the human needs, that is known as utility. That resources has values. What is meant by value? Value means worth. See, for example, if you take gold, it has separate value. Yeah, we can sell it, right? And we can make it nice jewelries, isn't it? Yeah. Then land. Yeah, we can construct our own house, and even what is that? Factories. We can construct our land so that it has one value. So value means worth. The use of a resource depends on its value. How? Because see, for example, I tell you one thing. Sugar and jaggery, if we take, sugar and jaggery are extracting from sugar cane. These two things are extracting from sugar cane, though we are taking, but each one has separate value. Sugar is costlier than jaggery, isn't it? Yes, because sugar is made up of like so many chemicals, and it looks like white, and it gives a separate taste, isn't it? So it makes the differences between from one object to another, and so it has value either, what is that? That it has more value than jaggery. Sugar has more value than jaggery. Like that, resources are having values according to its uses. Okay, following are the types of values. See, some resources have economic value, some resources don't have economic value. What it means economic value? See, some, for example, metals, anything copper, iron, or gold, silver, anything if you take, we can sell it, or we can make it as a some, what is that, tools, everything we can use it. For everything we can use that metals, so it has economic value. We can sell it in that market. After manufacturing we can sell it in the market, so here it has economic value. But some resources won't have economic value. For example, landscape. Landscape means what it is? Landscape includes, what is that? A nice beautiful mountains, hills area, then sunrises, everything will come under that. What is that? Lakes, rivers, what is that? All those natural scenes are called, what is that? Landscape. It includes landscape. In that, no need to see, if you want to enjoy the natural sceneries, we no need to pay, isn't it? In some cases for theme parks and all, if we want to go, we will pay for that and all, for minimum charges for ticket, right? So that is not that is different thing. But basically, landscape we can enjoy it, but this matters, we can sell it and we can use it for ourselves. So these are all having economic value, but some resources won't have economic value. For example, landscape for not having economic value. Okay, fine. Some resources can become economically valuable with time. See, for example, your grandmother's home remedies. For example, nowadays, if we don't want use in medicines and all, for anything, immediately pick up or go to medical shop, go to doctor, we will buy medicines. No need to do. Our grandparents used to tell, first you take this kashayam, right? What is that? The soup, that jiragam, what is the pepper, coriander, that kashayam is there. So this kind of home remedies have no commercial value today, because our grandma is not going to sell these methods and all. But if they are patented and sold by a medical firm tomorrow, they could become economically valuable. It means, in case, wow, this is nice component, it is a good remedy for this cough. If any medical firm, medical companies find that, they will come and ask your grandma, please can you give your methods how to make, we will pay. And your grandma said, no, 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 I only will prepare like that. If he says that if she gets patent right means the exclusive right over any idea or invention. That is called patent right. If she has patent right, then she will have a right to prepare this kind of medicines. Then so in future it will be getting economic value. So what I want to say, no, some resources are having economic values, some won't be have, and some will have tomorrow. These resources are having different values. Okay, now I am going to tell about the two important factors that can change things into resources. Okay. See, time and technology are two important factors that can change substances into resources. Yes, of course, because time and technology are very important factors. How we can see? See, for example, petroleum was not a resource before people learnt it. Yes, nowadays petroleum usage is more, isn't it? Yeah, always petroleum's price will be high only. Why? Because now we are using more. But when people were not using petrol as a resource, it won't be used. But now, time after over this period, now fossil fuel is using, isn't it? So, time is a important, one of the important factors that can change substances or objects or things into resources. See, next, technology. Yes, of course, you know about technology very well. What is meant by technology? It is the application of latest knowledge and skill in doing or making things. Suppose you are also, what is that? You are all having intelligence. Yes, you are all using technologies more. You are all using gadgets. Always maximum complaints are coming from your parents. My son is using always phone. My daughter is always using computer. So always they are using their time with gadgets only. So because now the technology has improved a lot. So technology also one of the important factors that can change substances into resources. We will see. See, resources are developed according to the needs of the people. Yes, nowadays what we need, that resources will be used more, isn't it? Yeah. So the needs of the people can differ from time to time. Those time people didn't use petrol. That time they didn't need to use the petrol, but now we are using the petrol, fossil fuels. So time is the one of the factor. And technology plays a crucial role in making the substance more valuable. See, for example, we take a phone, telephone. Before that and after inventing the telephone, we used to talk, but nowadays, phone is a mini computer, isn't it? Whatever the provisions are given in the computer, maximum provisions are provided in our phone. So this is as a mini computer, isn't it? That is why due to the technology, isn't it? So technology helps us in knowing the different uses of one particular resource. Phone is a particular resource, but technology only helps us to use in multiple level, isn't it? In multi ways we are using the phone, isn't it? So this is the two factors, important factors that can change substances into resources, isn't it? Okay, fine. Now we are going to see about the natural resources. Before going to see about the natural resources, let's discuss the types of resources. Okay, first you should understand the types of resources. What are the types of resources? Natural resources, human resources, and human-made resources. These are the three types of resources. What are the types of resources? Natural resources, human resources, and human-made resources. Okay, first we will see about the natural resources. What are natural resources? Resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. Natural resources means actually drawn means here what is mean drawn? Obtaining or getting. So resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification. Without much modification means no need to modify it. Directly we can use it what we are getting from nature. That is without much modification are called natural resources. See for example I tell you, air we are getting, water we are getting, soil, this and that, we want to modify it to use it, isn't it? Directly what we are getting from nature, we are using it directly. No need to modify, isn't it? And some resources will be modified by human and then we will use it, isn't it? For modifying purposes, we are using human power as well as technology, machineries, isn't it? Okay, so what are natural resources? Resources are that are drawn from nature or used without modification are called natural resources. I'll show some example of natural resources. These are the some examples of natural resources. See, water, air, metals, oils, plants, sunlight, etc. In fact, I want to show one more picture also. See the Earth's natural resources, full packed, right? From here, see solar energy, soil, coal, birds, plants, oceans, energy, flowers, minerals, natural gas, atmosphere, fossil fuels, oxygen, animals, metals, timber, water, trees, fish, oil. These are the resources which we are getting from nature. Natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use, origin, stock and distribution. See, natural resources which we are getting from nature, it is also classified into different groups depending upon their level of development, use, origin, stock and distribution. First, we are going to see about the first point of level of development. Okay, on the basis of their development and use, resources can be classified into two groups. One is actual resources and another one is potential resources. What is mean by actual resources? These actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. See, we in this actual resources shows us the its quantity. We can, oh, this much only we have, so we can use it safely. Like that, we will understand. So, actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. These resources are being used in the present. Yes, of course, we are using the resources. For example, the rich deposits of coal in Ruhr region of Germany and petroleum in the West Asia, the dark soils of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra are all actual resources. Why? Because the basic, what is that? How can we find these are all potential resources? Because these resources shows us it's the quantity, how much it is presented in the nature. We can find it. According to that, we can plan and use it, isn't it? So, for example, they have given the coal mining in what is that in Germany, and petroleum in the West Asia, and Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra. These are the examples for the actual resources. See here, some pictures are there. See that actual resources. And now I am going to tell about that second type of potential resources. These resources whose entire quantity may not be known and these are not being used at present. See the difference. In that actual resources, we can find the quantity of that resources, but in that potential resources, that entire quantity may not be known. Actually, and one more thing, it's not being used at present, may be used in future. So, these resources could be used in the future. The level of technology, why we can't use it, that potential resources at present, because lack of technology. For example, I tell you one thing, in that Antarctica region, have you know, I think all of you know about Antarctica region, isn't it? Cold region has lots of minerals. It is under the, what is that, under the ground, it has lots of minerals. So, now at present, there have few research stations are there. People won't be there, but research stations are there. Some countries are keeping their research stations are there. They will research and what are the resources are in that area and how can we use it in future. These are the researches are going on. So what happened, you know, that resources, they know very well here resources are there, but due to that lack of technology, we don't have that kind of technology to use and extract the minerals from the ground. That's why still stand still. We are not using that resources. But researches are going on. How can we use it and what are the equipments we need to extract? All those things are going on. So, in that potential resources, whose entire quantity may not be known, and one more thing is these are not being used at present. The level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize the resource. Yes, of course, I told you no, we don't have the technology to use it. But later in future, definitely it will be possible to use all those resources. Yes, because now we are seeing the technology world is high. It's growing up more and more. So who knows? or next year they may use, or another 2 more years they will find new technologies, that new equipments to extract the resources. Okay, fine. For example, the uranium found in Ladakh in an example of potential resources. In India, Ladakh region, uranium is, what is that? Uranium, they found the uranium is there, but we have not yet extract. So that is also one of the example for potential resources, but that could be used in the future. Yes, and one more thing I want to tell you, now the wind is actual resources, but before that it was potential resources, because wind in the 200 years ago, that wind was, high winds were a potential resource, but today they are an actual resource. Why? Wind farms generate energy, windmills are there, so many windmills are there, so wind energy, through that we get electricity. That windmills are famous in Netherlands. So in fact you will find some in Nagercoil in Tamil Nadu and on the Gujarat coast. Which one you can find in Nagercoil and Gujarat coast? Windmills, isn't it? So you will find some windmills where in Nagercoil in Tamil Nadu. Nagercoil is situated in Tamil Nadu, and one more place is Gujarat coast. These are the two places we can find windmills. Okay. Okay. Next, I'll tell you based on their origin. Based on resources origin, resources can be classified into abiotic and biotic. So, based on their origin, resources can be classified into abiotic and biotic. Abiotic resources are, you know very well, isn't it? What is meant by abiotic? It's non-living. So, abiotic resources are non-living and biotic resources are living. So, abiotic resources, on the basis of origin, resources can be divided into abiotic and biotic. Abiotic resources are non-living, while biotic resources are living. Examples, see, things composed of non-living things, for example, rocks and metals, and biotic resources obtained from biosphere, and of course it has life, isn't it? So human beings, flora, fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. These are the examples of biotic. Okay, next we will see the examples also. See these pictures, you can find it which are the abiotic resources, which are the biotic resources, isn't it? Yeah, you can see minerals, rock, soil, air, oil, everything coming under abiotic resources. Forest, what else? Animals, isn't it? These are all plants, these are all coming under the biotic resources. Okay, we will see in the next picture. In this picture, the resources have been broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable. So, natural resources again classified into, broadly categorized into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. See, already we have seen that what is that? Biotic resources are renewable and non-biotic, abiotic resources are non-renewable. Isn't it? In that picture it has shown. So now the natural resources can be broadly categorized into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. First, renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Yes, that's right. See, for a simple way, renewal means again we will get it back. So, see immediately what you will, so see, when you renew your passport, you renewed your passport, like that we will ask, no. So, renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. So, renewable resources are getting replenished quickly by nature. Some of these are unlimited and are not affected by human activities. Yes. Say renewable resources, For example, solar energy, air, wind, water, tides, isn't it? Plants, everything coming under renewable resources. And non-renewable resources, what are the resources coming? Fossil fuels, oil, coal, natural gas. Then metallic minerals like iron, copper, gold, aluminium, silver, what is the zinc, platinum, that all those comes under non-renewable. And what else? Non-metallic minerals like salt, phosphate, that salt items and all coming under that non-renewable resources. Okay. See, for example, solar and wind energy we take. Since if we nowadays we are using windmills to generate electricity, and nowadays solar panel, so many houses now we are fixed to getting energy. What is that? Electricity. So these are all because it is renewed by nature itself. No need to do anything. So these are all unlimited. Solar from morning to evening, that solar panel grabs sunlight and it generates that electricity. Like a windmill also, whenever the wind comes, what else? What will happen? Through the wind, the generates electricity. We will use it for our purposes, our home uses. So here renewable sources are unlimited, yes, but shortage and drying up of natural water sources is a major. But okay, before that and all water is renewable resources, but nowadays is it like that? No, now the scarcity is coming. See, in summer comes immediately what water problem will come. Here the water is exemption, but solar, wind, that and all, no, renewable, automatically replenished by nature. Okay, now I am going to explain about non-renewable resources. These resources are those which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Yes, of course. That's why, see now that Kolar gold mine, have you heard about that Kolar mine? Which there is a gold mine. Now it is closed because that extraction was completed. So that, for example, I told you like that this kind of what is that, non-renewable sources will be exhausted one fine day. So till the stocks are exhausted, we will use it. After that, it will take millions of years to renew. So here only we will be very careful to use that resources. That's why coal, petroleum and natural gases are some examples, and always tell that later on we will see that conserving the natural resources. When we are going to study that conserving natural resources, how to conserve this kind of non-renewable resources and how to use it and how we will help to future generation to keep it safely. All those things we will study in later. So the natural resources can be broadly categorized into two. One is renewable and another one is non-renewable. Renewable resources are, for example, solar energy, air, wind, water, tides, soil, plants, everything. And non-renewable, say these resources are replenished by nature itself. No need to do anything. And these non-renewable resources only will be limited. Here only till that stocks are exhausted, we will use it. After that, it will take millions of years to renew or to replenish. Okay, so that examples of that non-renewable resources: fossil fuels, oil, coal, natural gas, etc. For example, metals also they are given, metallic minerals, iron, copper, aluminium, those things. Okay, even in fact salt and phosphates, that things also coming under the non-renewable resources. Okay, fine. Next, see the pictures. solar energy, water, wind, isn't it? Okay, fine. Now I'm going to explain about their stocks and distribution. On the basis of resources distribution, resources can be classified into ubiquitous resources and localized resources. What is meant by ubiquitous resources? The resources that can be found everywhere, for example, air, light, water, etc. Here, can you understand? The resources that can be found everywhere. Air, wherever we go, we will breathe, right? Where is sunlight, everywhere the sunlight we will get. Water also. So these are the resources can be found everywhere. That is ubiquitous resources. Okay. So see, but those which are found only in certain places are localized. On the contrary, some resources that can be found only in certain parts. See, it's quite contrast to ubiquitous. Some areas only it will be deposited. We will find it some places, certain areas only. So, localized are those resources that can be found only in certain parts of the world. For example, copper and iron ore, thermal power plant, etc. Okay, even some, what are the, we can find it, no, that minerals, ore, which are deposited in certain areas only, not in everywhere. All the rocks are not minerals, isn't it? So, like that, localized resources that can be found only in certain parts of the world. Okay, what is the difference between ubiquitous resources and localized resources? The differences between the ubiquitous and localized is the resources that can be found everywhere is ubiquitous resources, for example air, light, water, and the other side localized resources that can be found only in certain parts of the world. Okay, so now the things which I have studied about resources, I have given that recap also. Okay, so you have to read the book pages, then you do what are the worksheets we have given. Okay, I hope you all understand. Next class, this lesson will be continued. Thank you.